I was out in my garage this morning. It smells like motor oil, sawdust, and old coffee. I was running my hand over the workbench I built 40 years ago, feeling the grooves in the wood. It's quiet out there now. No engines to fix. No sons asking to borrow my tools. Just me, the dust, and a whole lot of memories. My name is Henry, and I am 94 years old. When you are a man in your 30s or 40s, you look at 60 as the finish line. You think, if I can just make it to 60 or 65, I'll retire. I'll sit on the porch. I'll go fishing. And life will finally be easy. But they lie to you. Society lies to you. Hitting 60 isn't the finish line. It is a trap door. And if you are not prepared for what happens when the structure of your working life falls away, the next 30 years will completely destroy your spirit. I know this because I watched it destroy my friends. And for a long time, I let it almost destroy me. If you are a man approaching 60, or if you are already there, trying to figure out why you feel so incredibly empty, I need you to pull up a chair. Stop scrolling. Look an old man in the eye for a few minutes. I am going to tell you the 7 things that will silently destroy your life after 60. No one warns you about these things because no one wants to admit they are struggling. But I am 94. My pride burned away a long time ago. Pay close attention to the 7th one. It is the trap that catches almost every man I have ever known. Number 1, retiring from life instead of just retiring from work. Men from my generation, and probably yours too, we tied our entire identity to our paychecks. I was a foreman. I was the provider. When I retired at 65, they gave me a watch and told me to enjoy my rest. For the first month, it was great. By the 3rd month, I was waking up at 6 a.m. with absolutely nothing to do. I started sitting in my leather recliner, watching the news for 6 hours a day. I was rotting in my own living room. My best friend Charlie did the exact same thing. He retired, sat in his chair, and gave up. He died 2 years later. His heart just stopped. But the truth is, his purpose stopped first. When you stop working, you must replace your job with a new mission. Build birdhouses. Volunteer at the food bank. Teach your grandson how to change a tire. Do not let a recliner become your coffin. You must have a reason to put your boots on every single morning. Number 2, the poison of male pride and unspoken apologies. We are taught to be tough, to not show emotion, to stand our ground. When I was 62, my youngest son, David, made some choices I didn't agree with. We had a terrible argument in my driveway. I told him to leave. I was the father. I was right. And I demanded respect. We didn't speak for 4 years. I missed his 30th birthday. I missed the birth of his first daughter. Every time the phone rang, I hoped it was him apologizing. But my pride wouldn't let me pick up the phone to call him first. Pride is a disease, gentlemen. It keeps you warm for about 5 minutes, and then it leaves you freezing cold and alone for the rest of your life. I finally swallowed my pride and knocked on his door. I cried like a child. We fixed it, thank God. But I lost 4 years of his life because I wanted to be a tough guy. Say you are sorry. Be the one to break the silence. Number 3, hoarding your money at the expense of your memories. We spend our whole lives saving for a rainy day. But after 60, you have to realize it is raining. I know men who have $500,000 in the bank, but they refuse to buy a plane ticket to see their grandchildren because it's too expensive. They eat cheap, terrible food to save a few pennies. They are preparing for a future crisis, forgetting that they are already in the final chapters of their lives. My wife, Sarah, begged me to take her to Italy when we were 68. I said, "No, Sarah, we need to keep that money for emergencies. The roof might need replacing." Sarah got sick when she was 71. She never saw Italy. And I am sitting here in a house with a perfectly good roof and a heart full of regret. Spend the damn money. Take the trip. Buy the good steak. You cannot take your bank account into the grave, but you can leave your family with memories they will talk about long after you are gone. Number 4, letting physical inertia take over. Around 65, your knees start to pop. Your back aches. It becomes very easy to say, I'm too old for that. You stop getting down on the floor to play with the dogs. You stop taking the stairs. You stop walking around the block because it's slightly uncomfortable. Listen to me. The moment you tell your body that it is too old to move, your body will agree with you. It will lock up. Inertia is a silent killer. I am 94, and I still walk to the end of my driveway every single day. Some days it takes me 20 minutes, but I do it. If you stop moving, you shrink your world until your world is only the size of your bedroom. Fight the gravity. Stretch. Walk. Keep the machine running, even if it runs slow. Number 5. Refusing to learn the language of the young. I see old men sitting in diners complaining about kids today and their phones and their computers. They refuse to learn how to use a smartphone. They refuse to understand the internet. When you refuse to learn the tools of the modern world, you are choosing to exile yourself. You are choosing to be isolated. When my grandson gave me an iPad, I wanted to throw it against the wall. It frustrated me. But I learned to use it. And you know what? Now I can see my great-granddaughter's face on a video call from 3,000 miles away. Don't be the bitter old man who hates the future. Be curious. Ask a young person to teach you. They actually love it when you ask for their help. It keeps you connected to the world. Number 6, the refusal to ask for help. This goes back to our pride. We are the protectors. We don't ask for help. We fix the leaky pipe ourselves. We climb the ladder to clean the gutters when we are 75 years old, because we can still do it. I fell off a ladder when I was 78, broke my hip, spent 3 months in a hospital bed, entirely dependent on nurses to wipe me clean. All because I was too proud to ask my neighbor to clean the leaves out of my gutter. There is zero shame in aging. There is zero shame in asking a younger man to lift the heavy box. True strength is knowing your limitations and having the humility to say, I need a hand. And finally, number 7, the trap that destroys you from the inside out. Believing that your story is over just because you lost your co-author. When Sarah died, the lights went out in my world. For 5 years, from the time I was 71 to 76, I was a ghost. I didn't care if I lived or died. I thought she was my whole life. The story is over. I'm just waiting for the clock to run out. But one day, I was looking at a picture of her. She was smiling, holding a fish she caught on a lake trip. And I realized Sarah would be absolutely furious with me. She didn't love a ghost. She loved a man who built things. She loved a man who lived. Losing your spouse or losing your friends is the heaviest cross you will ever carry. But your lungs are still pulling in air for a reason. You still have chapters left to write. It won't be the same story, but it can still be a good one. You can still mentor a young man who doesn't have a father. You can still plant a tree. You can still laugh. Gentlemen, life after 60 is not a waiting room for the cemetery. It is the time to drop the armor you have been wearing your whole life. It is the time to be honest, to be vulnerable, and to be brave enough to actually enjoy the time you have left. I'm just an old man with calloused hands talking to a camera. But if any of this made sense to you today, if you are struggling with that empty feeling or with your pride, please leave a comment down below. Tell me, what is the hardest part about getting older for you? What are you fighting right now? I sit in my garage and I read every single one of your comments. It reminds me that I am not the only one who had to learn these hard lessons. Subscribe to the channel. Let's build a community of men and women who aren't afraid of the truth. Thank you for listening to me today. Go call your kids. Go take a walk. And please, don't waste the rest of your life.